here. We are an association of member companies, non-union member companies. ABC first started actually in 1950. I hope everybody can see my screen.
We can't see your screen just yet.
Right. I'm going to turn off my camera because it's really distracting for me when I talk. If that's okay with everybody.
That's all right. Fine. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so ABC is a member association founded obviously in 1950, and
Amber,
they were founded on the.
I am so sorry. We still can't see your screen.
You cannot?
Not yet.
Oh, there it goes. So now you can see it?
Mm-mm.
Can you see it now?
Yes. Yes,
okay.
We can see it. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. Technical difficulties. All right. So anyway, ABC is a national organization founded on the premise of a merit shop philosophy where contractors should be awarded contracts or bids based on their safety, the quality and price that they're providing, and it doesn't matter if they are union or open shop. We are a very widely known program or association throughout the United States. We have over 70 chapters and obviously over 21,000 member companies, contractors and associates, as well as service providers. So ABC of Alaska was actually founded in 1998, still on the same premise of the merit shop philosophy. And then they started an apprenticeship program a year later, wanting to get young people into the trades and to teach them under the merit shop philosophy as well. Currently, right now, we have 130 member companies, owners, contractors, suppliers, and associates statewide. They range from large corporations to very small family-owned businesses. Of that 130 members, 88 of those are participating in our apprenticeship program. So the apprenticeship program, again, based on the premise of merit shop philosophy, so you don't have to be in a union to be learning the trade. It creates a competitive advantage because you're learning, just like Suzanne said in her presentation, that you're learning from journeymen and mentors that have been doing the job for their entire career. They know what they're doing. They have the historical knowledge. So they're taking on apprentices and teaching them daily as they're on the job and learning their trade. The advantage of our program is that it is a self-study, self-paced program. There is no actual in-class time. So our apprentices actually come into the program and they will go directly to work and they will do their book work at their own pace and test regularly throughout the program. All the apprenticeship programs in the state of Alaska have to be federally registered because we are a federally registered state. So all of the apprenticeship programs have to abide by the standards set forth by the Federal Department of Labor. So much like the laborers union, we actually have set standards, set requirements for each specific trade that we are training in. We are a multi-sponsor program, meaning that we have, like I said, we have multi employers, 88 employers, companies, and we are also a multi-trade program. And this next one will give you an idea of what we actually teach here. So we have all of these different trades in our program. We are heavy on electrical and plumbing only because those are licensed trades. And so that means that they have to actually be in an apprenticeship program for their hours to count towards completion. and towards being able to take their journeyman's exam with the state of Alaska. Anybody going through our program has the ability to take all of their credits from this after completion and go to the university and apply those credits towards their associate's degree. Another advantage of completing the program is that they have the ability to be mobile with their certification. So once they complete the program, they get that Federal Department of Labor certification of completion, they can take that down to the lower 48, they can take it down to Washington, they can take it down to Oregon and say, and go to their licensing department and say, hey, I completed this program. I would like to sit for your state exam so that I can work here as well. And they don't have to go through the same process down in that different state. Okay. So obviously, like I just said, we are heavy in electrical and plumbing. We actually do have in the works a telecom program, hoping that with some of the money coming in for infrastructure, that is going to be, it's going to be focused on some of that. Okay. So of the 88 apprenticeship companies, or participating employers is what we call them, we are, like I said, we are statewide. Our apprentices are all over the place. We have large companies up on the slope, like Arctic Slope Regional Corporation, Delta, Edelhoven, Nana, and then we have companies that are they're larger companies and they are statewide, like Samson Electric and Watterson Construction, because they bid out a lot of their projects throughout the entire state. And we also have smaller companies and smaller communities, and you can see there on my little slideshow, such as Barrow, Duck Harbor, and Kotzebue. So we are everywhere, and our apprentices are learning all the time, every single day while they are on the job. So our program, the structure of it is all similar to all the other federally registered programs. They have to go through the same process, everybody does. They'll come in, excuse me, they'll fill out their application, give us all their paperwork that they're required to. Again, every single federally registered program has to have the same kind of document. So they'll have to fill out their application. They got to give us a driving record. They got to give us a driver's license if they have one. It's not a requirement anymore. They have to provide proof of eligibility for employment, such as a social security card, passport, that kind of stuff. And then they also need to give us, excuse me, any certifications that they might have, like first aid or confined space or anything like that, that they already do have. After that, they go through an interview with us, and then they're ranked in our system. And then we also provide free training. It's now required safety training. If they don't already have it, for our first year apprentices, they'll go through the fall protection, confined space, first aid, energy isolation, and NSTC if they need it, if they're going up onto the slope. Two of our member companies, NIT and Alaska Safety Alliance, provide all of that training for us. And none of it is at cost to the apprentice. Excuse me. After that, they go through a process with our member companies for interviewing if they don't already have a position. Some of our apprentices actually come into the program and they've already been interviewed by our member companies and are ready to be hired right away. Other ones come in as simple applicants, and then they are sent out, their resumes are sent out to our member companies for potentially being interviewed by them and hired by them. Okay. They go through an indenture process, or an enrollment process is the new word to say, and they come into the program, and that's when they get started with their bookwork and they start earning their hours. And then their program progression goes through every 1,000 hours, they get an increase in pay. They start out at 50% of a journeyman's wage, and then it goes up incrementally 5% as their hours and their bookwork go up, and they do have to coincide so that we know that they're on track. This next slide gives you a little bit of information just about our numbers and where we are going. We have not slowed down in the last year. It has been nonstop, honestly, with the amount of apprentices and applicants that we are getting in and the amount that our employers need every day. I'm getting requests from our employers all the time that they need people to go to work. Excuse me. So our goal by 2025 is to get to 400. We are well on our way there. And I don't foresee us slowing down at all. Like Suzanne said, the money is hopefully coming in here soon, and companies are going to need workers every single day, all the time. So I don't foresee it slowing down at all. This slide just gives you a little bit of information about where our numbers lie in regards to women, minorities, and our veterans. I have seen an uptick in the number of veterans that are coming into our program, mostly by word of mouth, and again, as well as women coming into the program. Probably in the last 3 months, I've interviewed 4 women, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot when you look at it from my perspective. All right, so just a little bit of information just to recap. So ABC's apprenticeship program, the apprentices don't pay anything directly at all. Everything is paid through the participating employers. The apprentices don't have any dues or anything that they have to turn into us. Like I said earlier, we are a self-study, direct study program. So it provides the apprentices the flexibility to be, say, out in rural Alaska and working heavily on a job and able to test with their employer and get that test turned into us for grading and for credit towards their program. So they don't have to take time off work for classroom study or anything like that, or to take unemployment while they're in our program. We are open year-round to applications, so there's no need to wait. As soon as somebody comes in and applies, we hope to get them put to work immediately. The curricula that we use is through NCCER. All of our trades are through that, and they're all 5 books. They start with a core book, which is basic construction knowledge, and then the majority of the trades have 4 additional books for their trades. Some have only 3, but that's the majority of how the curriculum goes. Almost all of our programs are 8,000 hours to complete, which is a 4 to 5 year program, because people normally get 2,000 hours full-time per year, barring any layoffs, which is why we give the 4 to 5 year mark. So we maintain all of the apprentice and applicant pools for employers to use. So if an employer needs somebody to go out to work, we send them either somebody from our out of work pool, or we'll send them resumes from our applicant pool. All right. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Amber. I have shared some links, certainly to your website. It has been recently revamped, right? So
yes, it has. I know that you were having issues from the state side of things to not be able to see things. So if you're at a state-run program, you might have issues getting onto our website. We're trying to get that fixed from our side. So
thank you. I can still access your website from my phone as long as it's not connected to the state of Alaska. I have a quick question about your ranking system. Can you tell us a little more about that? When apprentices go through the interview, or future candidates for apprentices go through the interview process, you said that they are placed on a list. How does it work? How long does it take to get out and get from the list to the actual site.
Okay, so the ranking system only comes into play when it is an applicant that's coming in without a potential hire immediately. If somebody, say, is coming in and they've already interviewed with Samson Electric, and Samson Electric knows that they want to hire that person, then that person comes in direct as an apprentice. The applicant pool is based on the interview score that we have, all the questions that we ask them. We go through it and just kind of score them based on that, and then it's also the application, the physical application that they turn in with all of their accompanying documents. And then that score is based on whether or not they have previous construction experience, or whether they have any higher education, or if they have any safety training under their belts already. So that number is, again, based on the application. Then we put it together, and then that rank goes into the system. Now, there are caveats to that, because an employer can ask specifically, or for specific criteria, say they want to hire a woman. So that would be a very specific criteria, and that would pull out just my women resumes, and I would send those to them. Or say if the specific criteria was that they needed to speak Ukrainian, I could send those specific people directly to that company that needed it. Okay. Or in even just a specific region, if somebody out of Kenai only wanted to hire somebody from Kenai, I could send those to them. Okay.
Great, thank you. One more question before we let you go. You
Sure.
said that the related technical instruction, right? That part, the book work, is a self-paced study, but is there still a time frame for apprentices to complete all the book work from you said 5 books, right? For electrical or plumbing. There may be fewer books for other trades, or more books for, or more than 5, but can they just take their sweet time about the exams? No.
No. So there's never more than 5 books. There's almost all of the trades, like electrical, plumbing, carpentry, sheet metal, HVAC, the larger trades that we have, they have 5 books total. So the core and their 4 levels of their trade. We only have a couple, I think. Mechanical insulation only has 4 total, core and their 3 trade books. But they are required to complete so many tests per month. So the first year they're required to get through their core and their trade level 1 book, which puts them at a minimum of 2 tests per month to get through. So we keep them on track. We keep them making sure they turn in their work reports every month. And then we will also send out a performance report indicating whether or not that they've taken the required amount of tests, so that we keep them on track to get through the program in the 4 to 5 years.
Wonderful.
And they don't get their raises if they don't do their tests.
Right. So that's a definite motivator.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for answering my questions. Do we have any questions from our attendees? I don't see any in the chat box, but you said you are accepting applications year round, right?
Yes, we take applications year round.
And there's more openings right now than apprentices.
There's more openings right now than jobs.
Than jobs, right? Okay. So please send people
There's more jobs
to ABC of Alaska, to Amber. With that, Amber, I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for sharing. One last question. The telecom, okay. How long do you think before that program is offered?
Well, we actually have a meeting with a gentleman with the telecom corporation, or it's actually the funding portion of some of the telecom that's coming to town on Monday. So, and we've actually already started doing research on it, because another company had talked to us about starting a program. So we are actually moving that way faster than what I thought would be. So
great.
I would hope before the end of the year we'll have it ready to go, because I have to get it approved for the Federal Department of Labor. Those standards for that specific trade have to be approved. So
yes, Thank you. Well, great. That's exciting. I think, don't we have a question? We do. So each member company has to have a journeyman to have an apprentice.
Yes, so it's right now it's a 1-to-1 ratio of journeymen to apprentices. So that's the requirement. We are trying to get it changed to a 2-to-1 ratio, so 2 apprentices to 1 journeyman, which would allow for more apprentices to be on jobs, to be learning, which is what we need right now. We need more bodies out there learning, and the 1-to-1 ratio kind of hinders us a little bit to be able to do that.
Is that a federal requirement right
Yes,
now?
it's a
1 to
federal
1?
requirement. Yep.
Okay. There is one more question or a follow-up question. Do you do the paperwork for the company?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we do almost all the paperwork for everybody. You do have to sign. You have to sign in as a member of ABC, and then you have to fill out your participating employer forms. That's about it. The apprentice fills out their work report. The apprentice does their test, and then it gets sent back by the proctor. So yes, we do all the paperwork. You guys don't have to deal with the Federal Department of Labor at all. So.
And a follow-up question, what is the cost to become a member?
That is dependent on your revenue, your gross revenue as a contractor or associate, or however it works. There's a whole structure for that on the ABC membership side of things, and I can send that. You can actually, I think you might be able to download it on our website now. The new
Okay.
website.
Yes, the new excellent website. Do you work with high school students?
Yes, we do. I actually just had 3 come in from the KCC. They just applied here the beginning of this last summer. I think one of them is hired right now. So they've just graduated. So we take 17-year-olds and up. 17-year-olds have to have permission from their parents in order to join the apprenticeship program. We do 17 because we know that a lot of those students are 17 when they graduate. So they have their diploma, they have their transcripts that provide us the math grade that they're supposed to have. So that's why we allow that.
Thank you. And so when you say you had 3 students, how did they find out? I mean, this particular training, ACAC training, is a wonderful opportunity to spread the word about apprenticeship opportunities. But do you do outreach specifically in high schools?
Yep. So we went directly to KCC and did a presentation for the electrical classes there. I took Samson Electric, and I took one of their journeymen who actually went through our program. And it was an excellent experience for all of us, I think. So, and we are working with Canute there to expand the opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Amber. I don't see any more questions in the chat box. You've answered all my questions, so I thank you for your time and for
Thank you.
joining us today. Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.